Over Crazy Rich Asians, China's elite are rewriting the luxury playbook. Loud is out and quiet luxury is in. The buzzword has skyrocketed in popularity since April last year, spiking over 300% in Google searches and racking up 35 billion views and counting on TikTok. Bain & Co.'s research predicts that Chinese shoppers will make up a hefty 40% of all luxury consumers by 2030. In China, there's a saying that goes, 先敬落衣后敬人. It literally means respect the clothes first, then the person. So how do you pull off quiet lux or stealth wealth? Quite simply, avoid logo overload and embrace subtle sophistication. Think along the lines of understated grace. To decode style and wealth in China, you need to be familiar with three key terms. Lao Qianfeng is a style born from generations of accumulated wealth, or old money. Xing Qianfeng often refers to new money trailblazers who hustled for their wealth after the Communist Revolution. And then there are the Tu Hao, the nouveau riche, known for their conspicuous consumption. You'd spot them a mile away in their blinged-out Mercs. Well, China's Gen Z and millennials might also have gleaned some style tips from HBO's smash hit Succession, transforming stealth wealth dressing into a chic trend. No logos, just eye-watering price tags. Make no mistake, though, the hype around understated luxury isn't just about emulating old money Americans. It's a reflection of the current climate in China, where the government has been discouraging flashy displays of wealth for over a decade. Back in 2011, Beijing authorities started scrubbing billboards featuring terms like luxury and high class. Then, in 2021, Douyin, China's TikTok, went on a deletion spree. Thousands of accounts flaunting excessive wealth, from stacks of cash to fancy Ferraris, were wiped out. Today, Chinese firms are advising employees to curb their flashy lifestyles as Beijing continues its crackdown on corruption and aims to narrow the wealth gap. Yet, China's billionaire club is outpacing the U.S. 8 years in a row now, China's ruling the roost on the Hurun Global Rich List, boasting 969 billionaires in 2023. The U.S. trailing with 691. Together, these heavyweights claim more than half the world's high net worth individuals. The question is this trend here to stay, and is going for the whole quiet luxury vibe actually stack up financially? Well, Sarah Mao, Director of Christie's Education to Asia Pacific, she joins us now. So Sarah, first up, help us understand this. To what extent are Gen Y and Z from East Asia, from China, how are they reshaping the quiet luxury landscape?
Hi, Otelli. I think it's very visible to how much they're keen to show off not just their wealth, but also their education and how much they know with regards to kind of collecting their own heritage, their own kind of taste, and kind of the trends that they want to set themselves. Gen Z has a very interesting kind of space in which they do have a lot of wealth to spend, but at the same time, they also have to kind of look back, and they're most of the time second generation collectors in the luxury space. So you have a new kind of generation of collectors who are very, very keen to forge their own path in collecting luxury, in, showcasing themselves as a trendsetter, as a collector in art and luxury. At the same time, they also need to kind of hold on to the heritage and all the knowledge that their parents have kind of left down to them in terms of what they already have in their collection and what they already have in at their homes or in their private museums. So Gen Z collectors nowadays are incredibly tech savvy, as you just mentioned. They're very, very keen to understand the world and also kind of forge their own path through what they're collecting, what they're wearing, and how they're seen by others.
So, Sarah, walk us through some of the recent luxury auction highlights. I guess I'm trying to ask, what's Christie's most exciting recent sale? Because I read in the reports that there was this Birkin bag that fetched $4 million.
Correct. That would be a Hong Kong $4 million. We're still, we're very proud to be still holding the auction record for the most expensive handbag ever sold at auction. That happened in November 2021. And I was very honored to be the person to auctioneer the piece. This year, we had a fantastic luxury sale in May. You can see kind of whether it's in handbags, jewelry, wine, or even watches, each of them achieved its own landmark and record. With jewelry, we had the Cartier Tutti Frutti necklace that sold from 8.7 million US dollars. For watches, that has seen a huge increase, especially in the Gen Z sector, in terms of collecting and kind of connoisseurship. And so Patek Philippe was sold, that was manufactured in 1953, actually, that was sold for US $8.4 million. And in wine, of course, kind of you have a lot of people who appreciate kind of both different vintages. So we had a Chateau Mouton Rothschild from 1945 that sold for 210,000 US dollars as well. So across the board, the luxury market has been doing incredibly well, not just kind of in the Gen Z sector, but I think as a whole collecting category in itself.
Yeah, and Sarah, you talked about from wine and necklaces. I can't keep up how many zeros there are at the at the end of the digit. So help us understand also what motivates someone to invest in high-end luxury items, willing to pay that much. Let's just dive into the psychology of luxury spending.
Apart from it being beautiful and wanting to own wonderful things, there definitely is a couple of, I think, pragmatic factors that attribute to the psychology of investing in high-end items. And I think you used the word correctly. It's not just purchasing and owning luxury goods. It's also that investment angle. And definitely so many collectors nowadays are seeing luxury objects as an alternative asset class. So it's not just about purchasing for the sake of the aesthetics and for that it's a beautiful handbag or a beautiful watch or jewelry piece, but it's also to diversify their investment portfolio. There's been so much talk about kind of family offices looking to add on art and luxury as a category in their portfolio. So definitely it's a combination of passion, tangible enjoyment, but also, of course, in the short and long term of it, seen as an investment piece.
So, just picking up from what you're saying, Sarah, I was wondering whether if it makes financial sense to invest in such luxury items, having it as an asset class in a portfolio. So I actually put that question to Joanne Goh. She's a senior investment strategist at DBS Private Bank, and let's hear what she has to say.
You have this resilience in the sense that luxury stocks with the likes of fashions, cars, and watches, they are relatively recession-proof, inflation-proof, and they are not sensitive to interest rates. So most of these goods have strong pricing power, and their customers are millennials who have spending power and lifestyle beliefs such as YOLO, So these resilient customers or consumers who are willing to spend on luxury goods, services, or experiences. So such products or services are plentiful in Europe. And with the Olympics coming in July and August, we believe that, this should give a boost to the sales of all these luxury goods items.
So, Sarah, it seems like it's recession-proof, inflation-proof. I want to talk about family heirlooms, though. I mean, I'm sure you have plenty of anecdotes of all these wealthy families. They're passing down or their treasured luxury items to their children. When you're talking to them, what sort of treasured items are they passing on to their kids?
Oh, that we could spend another hour talking about, because I think that the spread and the type of heirlooms are vast, and the same way trends, there's an element of timelessness when it comes to family heirlooms, and definitely in the luxury area. I think in that sense, it's much more recession proof compared to a degree when we talk about art paintings and pieces, because if you look at some of the paintings from 100, 200 years past, they may not still have the same holding value or current market value as modern or contemporary paintings. But when we talk about rare diamonds, we're talking about kind of the rare pink diamond, the yellow diamonds, and we're talking about Patek Philippe's that were created 50, 60 years ago, or even wines. I think all of these get passed down through cross-generational private private collectors and collections. Not only does it further inform the next generation of collectors what to collect and how to collect, I think it's also incredible to hear the stories of how they got passed down, especially from China during the war to kind of Hong Kong down to Southeast Asia, even to South America and Europe. So there's been some fantastic collections that Christie's has been honored to auction off. I think the most well-known one, of course, is the Peggy and David Rockefeller collection, the Rockefeller name being such a strong one, both as an American family, but also as an art and luxury collecting family. And during that sale, I believe the total was we sold over $830 million of their collection. So it's that lifelong passion of collecting over from 30 to 50 years. I've known many Singaporean collectors during my time as a Chinese painting specialist who also collected over a 30-year period. And these heirlooms, I think, are not only priceless to them, but it adds so much more value and so much more historical weight when it gets passed down to the next generation.
Well, we could certainly go on talking more about this, but I'm afraid we don't have the time for it. Nevertheless, thank you so very much, Sarah, for speaking with us today. Sarah Mao, Director for Christie's Education in Asia Pacific.